I think what we are in the air, so we could start our meeting today. And my name is Tatьяна Коваль, and I'm head of jury of EMBRAS HR Award. And today we decided to meet with our jury members from different countries for discussing the last season of our award. And for discussing the projects, the trends, the insights, what the jury have from participation, and there's huge work of assessment of the projects. And today with us, and I want to introduce the Lukas Bosco from Brazil. Hi, Lucas. Please could you...
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I will ask you a little bit to say about yourself before we are starting. Could you please make a short introduction for our audience, because I think not everybody knows you, especially in Central Asia, but I hope that after our meetings, we will know you more.
Okay, it's perfect. Well, people, I'm Lucas. I'm from Brazil, and I'm studying employer branding for some years now. I'm working with it for some years too, and a big company here in Brazil, a telecom company here in Brazil. So, and it's a pleasure to be here, and what was a pleasure to judge all the projects, and I hope we will know each other better.
Thanks, Lucas. And the second jury member who is here with us is Zarinej Tashevой. Hi, Zarina.
Hi, everyone again. So I'm Zarina. You already know about me, and I'm based in Uzbekistan and working in the biggest polymer manufacturing plant. And all my HR experience is related to oil and gas industry. Before that, I used to work for automobile industry as well, and I have some experience in education sector too. I have been as a panel judge. I was part of the panel judgment in some other competitions too. So I'm happy to be with you now here and to see our works of our Uzbek company and HR. And I would like highlight today the best one, which I liked, but later on.
Thanks a lot. So we have some participants who decided to enter us here. So please, you could write your questions for our jury members. And I think we could start our dialogue with Lucas and Zarina. And my first questions for you, what was the main insights and ideas which you have after assessment of all these projects? This is more than 40 projects you have you had to assess. It's huge work. And could you share your first impressions, maybe first insights, first ideas in general? Lucas, could you start, please?
Of course. Yeah, I really liked most of the projects a lot. They're very great, and they seem to realize that how complex it is to work with employer branding and how it should work. So it makes me very happy to realize that people get it. People know how it works and know how it should work in the whole company to make the employer branding go up, go better. So which means it was very impressive. In Brazil, we don't have something like this. We're still struggling with some details yet. Besides that, well, I think the most insightful thing that I saw was, well, everyone is working towards the same goal. And it's very, very interesting to know about the company in this area. So I really like it yet. So how people are caring for the ESGs as well. It's very, it's an incredible start, even for employer branding. So I like it very much.
From your point of view, did you see most difference between Brazil and Central Asia countries from an HR perspective, or did you see a lot of common things? What is your impression?
A lot of common things, a lot of them, but I see that in Brazil we manage HR mostly by laws, and we have very good laws in Brazil that make us have a good. There's something in Brazil that's just this. We have there are a lot of good laws in Brazil that make us have a very good HR. Okay, but I see some initiatives in the projects that make me think, well, we can do better here too. There are great initiatives, and they should come for other countries too. So I see some differences, and most of them we should do here too.
Thanks, Lucas. Zarina, this is mostly the projects, all projects were from Central Asia. This is your home, but I think you have a huge experience, and you mentioned, and not only in Central Asia, and not only in EMBRAS Award, but in different awards. And what is your first impressions, ideas, and insights after this year projects?
Actually, you know, I like that our people
Zarina, please, sorry, could you switch on camera, because we could hear you, but couldn't see you.
Yes. Now I'm here. So actually, I like that our people now understand there's a necessity of integration of digital tools. You know, it's nowadays it's very like a boom in everywhere. So, and I was happy to understand and to see how our people aware of that, and they know how to use it, and very nice to see that management support them to implement all this like digitalization processes, which improve the HR like work and activities, and it gives more opportunity for HR people to use their possibilities in more strategic works. You know, it's very important and crucial. And you know, the other thing is about inclusivity. Like women are more in good demand, in great demand, and it is important for Central Asia, where like women used to be more homey like people, you know, and now they are involved in big business.
It's very good, because if we talk about diversity, it's not so common for the Central Asia as, for example, in Brazil. I think in Brazil, this is a topic number one for all the conferences. All HR conferences really are full the discussion of its topic. It's really new for Central Asia. I think it's very important.
It's very new. And you know, the project was by Korzinka. I like it very much.
About women leadership.
About women inclusivity, yes.
Women inclusivity leadership, yes. It's a little bit new for this region, yes. And my next question is for you.
It's great, you know, that management support, and they support the HR and all these like new activities for now in our countries.
And my next question is for you, Zarina. Could I start with you? What could you recommend for the companies who decided to participate in the EMBRAS Award next year? Maybe some from the project description, from the type of projects maybe you could recommend, from the areas of the projects which you could recommend, because you think it's more important to see some ideas to the market. What is your proposal from a different perspective, your recommendation to the companies?
Like, I see that potential of our people is increasing every day, you know, and they don't need to afraid to use all these tools. Like maybe some of the projects were very nice, but the presentation it was not delivered well, you know. but the point was very good. So they need to focus more on the more presentation skills, because the ideas itself very, very, very demanding and very modern, and only maybe to show it more, how to say, как это развернуто, in more wider, view.
More widely to describe with their projects. Yes, I agree with you because this is, as for me, I think what the skill of selling your projects and show your project to the audiences is a skill which could be different from the usual HR skill. The one side you need to implement your projects, but on our side you have to show your projects a more appropriate way for achieve more results from participation in awards. Yes, I agree with you, Zarina.
And again, it goes to our culture, maybe, it's like about modesty and something like this. And the Western country, they are more adapted to presenting themselves. So we have to learn it, how to do it too.
Look, could you add something?
There's something like that too. Yeah, I think it's very helpful when you describe your company reality. Now, I come from another country, another region. So knowing the reality of the company helps me a lot to understand if there's a breakthrough or if it's something that you already do. So I have to know better the company. I coming from a different reality, so it's better for me. Also, when people use diagram to represent your strategy or something like more visual, will for sure help to understand the project and understand the greatness of it. Here, well, in Brazil, we do this a lot. It's very common to the type of visual aid, so it will help a lot in the future submissions.
I know what Lukас is really very highly qualified professional communication, and I like what he's doing and how he's doing, and I think his recommendation about visualization is really important, like ideas about cross-cultural communication. It's really, I think, interesting for our jury members from in our countries to maybe know more about company. And I think it's very useful for maybe for the future when our participants will present their projects for international audience to pay attention not only what they are doing, why they are doing, what results do they have, but also they pay more attention to context because context of Central Asia really is a little bit different from Brazil, from USA, from UK, from Africa, from any other regions. I think it's very different, so we need to mention it for our international audience. Look, my next questions, I want to start with you. You are one of the great professional in employer branding. I think not only for the Brazil market, but I think we're worldwide because we have possibilities for communicate and understand what you understand the global trends also. But my first questions for you from perspective: how to effectively use participation in international award for promoting and strengthening your employer brand? Could you give some recommendations for the participants?
Well, let's see. In the core of employer branding, winning the award itself is not a core employer branding activity, but what you do when you win an award like this is the key that can change what everyone can see about your company and make it better, make it greater for people. So win the award, it's very good, it's very important, because now then you can work on it, and don't be shy to explore the possibilities in communications, in external communications mostly, and let the people in your company to show it to make build the situation, make stands inside your company, in your walls, make people take pictures and publish them in all different media, and it will work better for you. It will try to, well, mostly it will help your awareness, so it's going to be very good. And depending on which type of award you received, depending on the category, you can explore it better. If you win a breakthrough of the year or ESG or internal communication, depending on it, you have to explore it to show what your company does. And mostly, if you can work through making your workers, your people, your collaborators, your employees to do the posting, to talk about your company, it's going to be much, much better.
Lucas, and what could you say about internal communication? I think if a company have a win in the HR awards, it also need to pay attention to communication with employees. What is your recommendation about internal communication? How to engage people and share the information about award participation, especially, and of course about win.
I think it's more than information. You can work to the proud of the people to work in a company. It's going to be the better way to work in internal communication. People to be proud to work for your company is going to be the best asset you can take from an award like this. And you can work it. And there are several ways to communicate and tell people, make interviews of the areas that won the awards, and people will know the award is now there. And that's mostly what you can do. That can move people. People that work for you know your value. They know what you're doing. They should know what you're doing. So this award is more of a stamp of, well, I do it great. I did it great. So how are you going to show people to make proud of this? They can see that the project for the local nature to be held, they know that. Okay, how is going to be proud of it? Oh, I'm doing this so well that I get an award for this. Then now you can show it to them and make them proud of working for a company. And it's the best way to work through this opportunity with internal communication.
Я потом.
Zarina, my next question is for you also about how could you recommend to promote the participation and especially the situation a company win in the HR award inside and outside company? And one additional question for you as HR director, how it could help company to improve the image of HR. I think sometimes it's also important to what the people proud of the company, like Lucas told us, but also how to improve the image of HR in the eyes of employees, in the eyes of C-level, CEO the company. What could you recommend?
Actually, I do agree with Lucas. Yes, it gives some, good image about the company. And if the people outside they thinking about, they hear about the stories, they have like winnings and etc. So the company can attract more talented people, and the talented people outside also will be interested in this company because it has good image. And they say like, oh, if they have good image, it means that the HR doing great job there. They can create the positive workplace culture, which is very good for any company, any scale of the company.
And I maybe could add also, after you participate in some awards, please share your cases on different conferences. I think it's really important. And so I could make an announcement what we will have a possibility for companies who win this year to share the 28th of November. Some of companies will share their cases because for me it's very, very important to become visible, not only for the company but also for the market and especially for the professional society. And my next questions for you, it's about I want to back to the projects and to our participants. It's about trends. What important trends do you see on the market, the global HR market and global and maybe local HR market for Zarina also, which could you recommend to pay attention for projects for the future where we want to present on these awards? What type of projects would you recommend? Or maybe could you recommend to add something to the project, to make some nuances? For example, like Zarina started from digitalization, for example, maybe you could recommend, if you're doing something, please don't forget about these sites, because it's become more and more important for HR to show what they use it. Or I remember our previous conversation with Lucas, our first meeting and interview, when Lucas told a lot about artificial intelligence and how HR could use it. And for example, I think it also could be maybe a recommendation, for example, if you use it in your project, so please integrate it in your projects and show it in the end when you decided to participate in the EMBRAS Award. So I try to give you some time for preparing your answer for my question. Which trend you could recommend to our participants on the next 2025 year season to pay attention in the future? Zarina, could you start, please?
And again, as far as I know, Uzbekistan now is becoming like a IT hub for Central Asia. So we have to focus on it, because we have great potential in our young generation who can use it and who can implement it. And once again, I want to say that our participants, they shouldn't afraid to use AI tools, to more machine learning and etc., because it gives a really, really big opportunities for the companies with in large scales, and most interesting topic for me, again, gender equity. Because nowadays we have like a lot of women who are at the same level as the men, can use their knowledge and potential even in production area. I can say it from my own experience, because we have women who used to work in the production and they are doing great job, maybe sometimes better than men. I don't know why. So there is trend, I think, about gender equity and AI installation in our daily operations.
Lucas, what is your opinion? Which trends could you recommend to pay attention for the next year?
I'll maybe repeat myself. I think artificial intelligence is a great trend for our market. It's a technology that works very well all in other markets, but in HR, it's a very early stages yet. So we're going to have to look for it. And always, as always, I think, well, when you talk about people, we have to be about people. It's not a trend. It's something we have to do. It's about our market. We cannot forget about it. Even artificial intelligence, and maybe even for the digitalization and artificial intelligence, we cannot forget about the people, okay? But if I have to take a trend, AI is going to be it. And we have to get the greatest way to work with it. It's not, I don't believe AI should take all the the HR work, not even the creativity work. It should take the work that we don't want to do, that's repetitive, that's something that machines can work, and we can work the people side of our jobs. So I think that's the greatest trend. You should implement it in all your projects, and if you can, if it makes sense, and somehow in some projects use the AI to make it better, make it faster, make it cheaper, go for it. But don't let it make the HR work, not even the employer branding work, not even your creativity work. But it's still a trend, and it's still something that the world is gonna look for in the next year for sure.
May I add one more important trend? I think we saw a lot of projects this year as trends about ESG. This is sustainable development. It's great what we have two special nominations for this type of projects, and for me it's also become a big trend because we see what ESG now has become a part of responsibility of HR. And because we have different task situations, different types, and also we start to understand what it's important not only to be for yourself, but it's important to be and work like a part of a society. So for me, I think it's also so important to include, as Lucas said, it's important to be human. Not to be human only for your employees, but also it should be human for the society where they live. I want, and I think it's very, very important for all countries, and also we start to discuss the diversity. Mostly in Central Asia, we discuss the gender diversity, but I think where age diversity is also important. Because I think we start to see the projects, then companies start to work with young generation. It's very interesting what with Central Asia is this market with a lot of young people. It's not common for the whole world. For example, you know what, in Europe, we don't have a lot of people from young generation that have a big problem, like, for example, in Russia. In Brazil, I think it's a situation that's a little bit different, not too many young generation, like, for example, in Mexico. It's closer here, it's also the town, but we have enough young people here in Brazil. But in Uzbekistan, we have a lot of young generation, but not all the companies have a special program for them. But this year, I saw some very, very interesting projects. And for me, my recommendation also to pay attention to the different type of diversity, especially the gender and age diversity for different type of employees. I think it also could be very, very important. I want to ask you one more question, Zarina and Lucas. What is your great recommendation for HR when HR start to make plans for the future, and what they should pay attention when they decided, for example, for the next year, we start to prepare like an HR. And also we start to prepare to work with our employer brand. So we plan different activities. One of them is participation in HR awards. This is one of them is how could we promote our employer brand, or how we could develop our employee candidate experience. I think now in November, all of us are in the point of the planning. And my question is about your important recommendation for HRs for the next year, for planning next year, for helping them, what could help them to have more results.
Maybe to think about work-life balance, to avoid like a burnout at the work, because recently I heard like many people just quitting their job because no more interesting. So I think this is like a will be trend for the next year, you know.
And pay attention from the HR perspective and also for the company's perspective. Yes, it's very interesting.
From both parts, yeah.
From birth, for me, it's very interesting. What here in Brazil, mental health is and well-being is widely discussed.
Yeah,
But
yes.
I think in Central
That's
Asia
why
it's
I
not
following
common.
you.
But I hope we have to start discuss it next
Yes,
year.
yes.
And great recommendation to pay attention in the plans, not only for achieving results, not only about productivity and effectiveness, but also about life-work balance. I think great ideas, and hope we will have this
Yes, because
type
we
of
have to think about the mental health of our people too, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lucas, what
Yes,
is your
If
recommendation?
we will be like a human-centric, so we have to think about people, about human, especially
Yeah,
after, you know, this COVID, like people adjusted to be at home and to work remotely, and nowadays they have to be at the office and always to see the same faces, the same staffs, you know, and they like are getting like bored.
and for sure, I mean, you cannot have a healthy company without have healthy people. You have to work through it. And my
Can achieve
recommendations,
results
I
with
really
happy
like.
people, yeah.
Yes, of course, happy people work better. There's no doubt on it. And I really like Zarina's view. I think it's a very great one. So I'll add some new. Yeah, I think it should work better and find a better place, a more strategic place for your internal communications. Talk with your people, your employees is very helpful. Make them know what the company is working for, what you are trying to achieve is gonna help for sure in HR. And you have to work some kind of employer brand for youth. You know, the Gen Z, the Generation Z is something you have to address. It's not a big problem from my point of view. I really think that this generation's crisis, they're always there, but we have to address the kind of problems or the kind of new things that they expect from us, and make it happen in the companies. We have to retire, and they'll have to be there. So we need to get them there faster and better. I have a little story. I've just interviewed a lot of interns for the company from my area lately, and I interviewed six people, six young people, and three of them were not using the computer for the interview. They were using their cell phone. I had to ask for them. Do you know how to work on a computer? Work the mouse and
Yes,
comprehend
there
the
is so
notebook,
many apps.
or just apps and cell phones. And that's a question, a real question in Brazil, a real question for everyone in the world. Does the new generation know how we work and the files, structures, or they just know how to use apps? And that's the difference there. And they know how to edit a video using the Adobe Premiere, or just know CapCut and fingers and go stuff. That's something that you have to look for and really understand if you're gonna go to their side and let's do it work like this, or bring them to our side, or maybe find them a middle ground for us. And that's something that should be in the planning for HR the next year.
Yes, maybe to build some programs, you know, for adapting like a younger generation and more older generation, Generation
Yes,
Z and millennials, yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, we will have an event for the 28th of November where we could present the best cases from the EMBRAS Award, as cases are about working with young generation. This case is from Central Asia, and I want to make an announcement, and we will make an announcement for the whole community. I think this is a test birds, the early birds of the graduate recruitment of working with young generation, and I hope that any other companies could enter our event, and then we will implement the same type of programs. And my next questions for you as a huge professionals. It's about your own inspirations and their recommendation. Where do you, like a professionals, find inspiration and ideas for your work? And maybe you could give recommendation for participants, like a professionals. Firstly, participants, they are HR professionals. Maybe to visit any conferences, maybe to read something, or maybe looking for, as for example, like looking for some companies who are leaders on the markets in some areas, and look what they are doing and have a huge inspiration. What recommendation could you give about source of inspiration for the future?
So actually, we have the great platform which called LinkedIn, and the LinkedIn, it has like a lot of people who are enrolling from different companies and with diverse culture from all over the world. And most of the famous HRs and professionals in this sphere, they have own podcasts and live stream, and I recommend to participate and at least to attend this and listen what they are saying, because there you can get many insights which you can use in your daily work with people.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, absolutely agree with you. For me, it's LinkedIn now. It's a huge source of inspiration, and for open the whole world, from Hong Kong in Kuala Lumpur to, for example, for some cities in Latin or in USA. Lucas, what are your sources of inspiration?
Well, Zarina just told my answer, so I was still saying LinkedIn, but avoid the biggest people there. Go to the people that post weekly and daily. The people that talk about. Avoid people that talk about the work and do not teach you anything. Try to follow people that can teach you a little thing about something each day. It's gonna be a better. Most people have this. My timeline is just people getting promoted, and oh look, I do a very good job. That's nothing. You can absorb anything from that. You have to look for people that can teach you something. That go there and see. Oh look, I did it that way. Now you can do something like this, and then you have a better timeline for search for. And despite of the LinkedIn that I like very much, I'm a daily poster, so I post every day, so it's something to do. And I really like to recommend go back to the books. That's something that I do a lot. I recommend very well. And maybe buying a lot of books is so expensive and not working for you. I go for the Amazon Kindle Unlimited. It's a Amazon program that's very cheap, that has a lot of books. Not the greatest of the world, not the moderns, but there's a lot of books there for our people, for HR, for brain, for creativity. There's a lot of material there for a very few bucks. Very cheap way to get a lot of books, and I really recommend doing this. Mostly the first month is free, so you can go there and see most of the one. And go back to the books. Go studying. Study every day. They have to be very accurate of everything that's going on. And the books is this concentrate ideas. well explained that LinkedIn can get you. LinkedIn can give you insight and maybe teach you something in the very small pieces. In a book, you can get a full comprehend of this of some subject, so it's going to help you to even to understand what you get on LinkedIn after.
Lucas, thank you for these insights. I wanted to say what in November we are launched the International HR Book Club. We will do it with Estonian HR Society, and I hope a Society of Central Asia also could enter us. It will be in English, and then soon we will make an announcement about this book club, but also with my colleagues from USA who also will participate in this activity. So I think that could be also very interesting activities for HR to read the books as you recommend, and then come and discuss with colleagues from different countries. What insights do they have from some particular book? So I agree with LinkedIn on one side and the great books from other side is very, very important for improving your skills. Dear colleagues who participate as participants, please, if you have any questions, you could raise your hand or you could write your questions because we are coming to the end of our meeting today. And I have my questions to Lucas and Zarina. My last question is your great, I think, 1, 2, 3 recommendations and wishes to the participants of the next season of EMBRAS Awards 2026. What is your wishes?
Well, first I'd say, well, if you didn't win this time, come again. Try one more time, try again. Be more dedicated, more specific to your business, and try again. And as a tip, well, go visual. Get there. Know your visuals. Know how to go to show to people the greatness of your job. That's going to be a very good recommendation, and I think it will help you a lot and to make it a distinct from other companies.
Zarina?
Yes, I agree with Lucas that the most important is how they present themselves, their works, you know. The visualization is very important because it is first our insight which we see, like people who are not in this project. So, and the other one is maybe to look what is trendy now and will be trendy next year. And I think the next stage will be about more human-centric. So we have to think about people and again about life-work balance, which is very, very spreading nowadays, you know.
Zarina, Lucas, thanks a lot. We organized this meeting especially for discussing not only the project of this year, but also for discussing trends. And I think we could summarize your recommendations and share with all community for attracting more projects, trendy projects, or implementing some ideas from our conversation to the projects of the next year. Thanks a lot again for your participation as a jury member. It's really a huge work to make an assessment of so huge bulk of projects. And thanks a lot for your participation in our today's conversation. I hope you will stay with us, and I hope what our community of etc. will follow you on LinkedIn, at least, because as for me and you, Zarina and Lucas, inspiring, a person who inspired me, who share really interesting thoughts or information about different events, about very, very interesting topics. I like to read, and thanks for LinkedIn, it have a translator. So I know that Lucas usually like to write in Portuguese. So for people from our countries could also read because we have a translator in LinkedIn. And I know that Zarina also usually write in English. So I think the people who maybe not so fluent in English, but they could translate, for example, in Russia. But you can follow the people from different world, different our jury members. And thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for your recommendations. Thanks a lot for your advices. And I hope the next year we will have a lot of interesting projects and we will have more and more inspiration sharing your projects with society. And you are welcome to our next events, and I hope maybe you'll become a part of HR International Book Club as participants, as the people who could discuss, who make an impact from this perspective. Thanks a lot, Zarina and Lucas.
And everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Have a good evening for people from Central Asia, and have a good day to Lucas, because now we had just only start our working
just 7
day.
a.m. for me. So. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.